definitely a way to get into the wrong branch. But we have all our branches: Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines. Space Force. Space Force is out there, but they're not hiring. Either way, so all the branches serve a purpose, and that's really important to note, because at no point are you going to ever hear me put down any of the programs. However, like if your goal is college, then I can tell you that I have better college incentives than any reserve out there, period. However, if you said, hey, I want to go to nuclear engineering, I would steer you in the direction of another branch. I want to go to this, you might belong in the Space Force, whatever the case might be. Either way, we're just going to touch on this for just a second as I play with this new Mevo app, and hopefully my audio doesn't suck as bad this time. But I wanted to go through this presentation with you guys. So we're going to cover a couple of different things. And once I figure out my life. There we go. So, isn't that amazing? I love this Mevo thing. Either way. So the National Guard. What is the National Guard? The National Guard does a couple of different things, and the biggest one is our mission. We are the only state and federal branch that exists. Now, there is the Air National Guard, but they still fall under the National Guard, right? So we are state and federal, and that makes us different in a lot of ways. And that's probably the biggest difference between the National Guard and the other branches, is that we get used for hurricanes, natural disasters, anything in our community that you can imagine, that we can get called up for that. And that's the reason why I went to the National Guard, actually, is because I wanted to help out with hurricanes and natural disasters. That's what I was initially geared towards anyways. So that's one of the biggest differences. Obviously, most of our force is part-time. They basically serve 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer. And a lot of my guys are going to college full-time. Some are out in the workforce, but mainly, I would say the vast majority of people are going to college full-time. So, and I'll explain why that is. So, student loan repayment. Student loan repayment is the same for just about every branch, but it's $50,000 up to $240,000 depending on what type of degree you're coming in as, or if you're coming in as an officer. The education benefits. Now, this is the bread and butter, right? I used the education benefits to pay for my nursing degree, and thank God I did, because the state of North Carolina pays 100% for your state and public education. So that means that I can go to school at App State, NC State, UNC Wilmington, any of my 16 UNC systems, any of my public schools, and the tuition will be covered. And that's fantastic. And here's the reason why. Is because you can only use one federal program at a time. That means that you can use a federal tuition assistance or the stipend. There is some, now the 9/11 GI Bill is a little bit different. We have that as well, but that's a little bit different. Either way, our students go to school we pay 100% of the tuition, and they make money each month. And that ranges from $392 to $742 every month, tax-free, going directly to that soldiers. Now, let's say if you don't take 12 credits. Obviously, if you're enrolled full-time, you're taking 12 credits. But some people don't do that. And that's okay, but just realize that it's going to be prorated down. So, enlistment bonuses are $20,000 right now. It's for specific MOSs, and there is an ASVAB score requirement, which hopefully I'll cover in a later video for you guys. VA home loan, fantastic. 0% down, no PMI for those of you that are looking at mortgages right now. And our health insurance. We use, this is a huge advantage to me, because instead of having to use on-post doctors, or instead of having to use the VA, I get to use my civilian provider. And I only have to pay $47 a month for that. So that's amazing. There's tons of different careers in the National Guard. We have 160 different ones. And so I always like to know people's goals and what they're trying to go after before I even recommend anything of that nature. Either way, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to kind of go over the rank structure. For me to kind of go over the programs that we have. There's obviously a lot to the National Guard, and I am happy to go over every single question that you have. Please reach out to me, and hopefully my audio didn't suck as bad this time. Either way, you reach out to me. My number is 828-243-6987. You're welcome to connect with me on Facebook, Instagram. I also make podcasts on the female discipline, which you can find on iTunes and Spotify, and hopefully I can get you all the right answers. So I hope you guys are staying well.